The whole purpose of this study that we are doing is to become full of divine virtues, because divine virtues are what distinguishes a soul in Kali Yuga from a soul in Satyug. So when we are deities and now that we have become ordinary, the difference is that of divine virtues. When we had divine virtues, we were deities. It is not a question of 4 hands, 8 hands, or other stuff. But it is just this small difference which makes us a deity. And Baba says there is a very simple method through which you can develop divine virtues. And that method is the method of awareness. And Baba says, stay in the awareness that you are the child of Shiv Baba. Yes, so Baba says that we must always have this awareness, whose child am I? Because you see that, I'll give you an example. So there was this brother and young brother, and he cracked his civil service, and he had come to the center, and I asked him, was it difficult for you? Was it easy for you? So he said, my father is an IS officer, so it was very easy for me, because I always felt that I can do what my father can do. So I never felt that it's a big thing, it's difficult or anything, because I had that reference point. And you see, in a body conscious world, we always take our Lokik parents as our reference point, or our bodily religion, or our bodily occupation. These are our reference points. So if, Lokik parents have some strengths, then children tend to pick on them. Or they have some shortcomings, then children tend to pick on them. Why? Because although, they are different souls, they are not the same souls, or their journeys are not related. But this is the power of consciousness. So when you're body conscious, and you think that this is my parent and I'm like my parent, then you start borrowing those strengths or shortcomings into you. And this is the power of consciousness. So consciousness is, who am I? Who do I belong to? So when you think I belong to this, so the son of a doctor will think I belong to this doctor. I am this doctor's child. So then it's very easy for me to be a doctor. And likewise, if there is this shortcoming in somebody, so there was this one brother who once told me that I get angry very easily. So I said, why do you get angry very easily? So he said, I'm hot-blooded. So I said, what does that mean? So he said, so I belong to this particular community and we are all hot-blooded. So we all get angry very easily. So I said, it's not like that. It's not about, the blood is the same temperature. It's not like you're more hot-blooded than others. It's just a sanskar which you have, which you have accepted, because you are conditioned to think that you belong to this community and this community is hot-blooded. So Baba says that you must understand the power of consciousness and just think about the power of false consciousness. So, body consciousness is false consciousness. Actually, that's not my parent, not my, it's not like I really have these qualities. But even false consciousness can work so well because that's the power of consciousness. And Baba says, just think about if false consciousness can do so much, what can true consciousness do? And the true consciousness is that I am a soul and I am the child of the Almighty, the ocean of virtues, the ocean of power, Shiv Baba. But the thing is, just like body consciousness has become very natural to us because we have been living in the body conscious world for very long. So the thing is, I am a soul, I am Shiv Baba's child, but I am not conscious that I am a soul or I am Shiv Baba's child. And I have to develop this consciousness by churning over it, thinking about it, and stabilizing myself, practicing to stabilize myself in that awareness. So, time and again, I have to sit in this awareness and create that state of stabilization where I invoke my soul conscious stage and I invoke the awareness that I am the child of Shiv Baba. So when we sit for meditation, so we have to first invoke soul consciousness, and by virtue of just being a soul, who am I? I am this, I the soul am completely separate from the body, I am separate from influence, I am the creator of my thoughts and my destiny, I the soul am imperishable. Nobody can kill me. So if you just sit in soul consciousness in this one awareness that nobody can kill me, nobody can insult me, and nobody can make me lose my spirit. Can anybody take away your Swaman from you? Can anybody take away your self-respect from you? Never. So nobody has the right to kill you. You are a soul. Nobody can take away your Swaman from you because the Swaman doesn't come from the world. So whatever they have not given, they can't take away. So Abhiman comes from the world. Yes, ego is given by the world. So ego can be hurt by somebody. But Swaman comes from Baba. So nobody can take away your Swaman. Yes. So nobody can kill me, nobody can insult me, because insult means taking away your Swaman. Even if somebody hurts your ego, ego is just an acquired trait. And you can always, you can say you're welcome to your opinion. Yesterday you said I'm very good, that was your opinion. Today you say I'm the worst, that's your opinion. And you are welcome to your opinion, doesn't matter to me. But who am I really? You can't take that away from me because that is my Swaman. So Baba says that, in soul conscious state also, when we sit in soul consciousness, you have many qualities that emerge in this soul conscious state. So the quality of being beyond the effect of fame and defamation, this is a soul conscious quality. Or the quality of being absolutely fearless, this is a soul conscious quality. Or the quality to stay uninfluenced by whatever messages is coming through the body, that's a soul conscious quality. So you can stay detached from the influences of the old world. That's a quality of soul conscious. But Baba says the next stage is remembering Baba. And when you are in the awareness that I am Baba's child, and a child is like the parent. Yes, a child's quality is like the parent's quality. So when you understand Baba, and what is Baba like? Baba is, to look at Baba is just a point, but in the point there is a whole ocean contained in the point. So Baba is a point in form and an ocean in quality. And it's a very interesting thing that you have to understand. Just like you see that, you need buddhi to understand how a virus can affect your stomach or how it can affect your brain. Similarly, so you see, if the virus is so tiny, but it can affect everything. Or, there is a saying that when an ant enters the elephant's ears, then it can drive the elephant crazy. So you have to understand this, because the ant is so tiny, but when it enters the ears of the elephant, it drives it crazy. Similarly, Baba says, I'm just a point of light, but a whole world or ocean of peace, love, purity, power is contained in me. And when you start understanding Baba through the buddhi, and as your buddhi becomes purer and purer, you understand that it doesn't matter if Baba is just a point. It is, what matters is, a point can also be an ocean of virtues and powers. And you see that these days in the world, people have recognized atomic power. And how tiny is an atom? Very tiny. But it's so powerful. And Baba says, you have realized atomic power, now you realized atmic power, and you realized parmatam power. And just like atomic power has to be understood, because a layman would say, what can an atom do? It's so tiny. But just think about what an atom can do. Similarly, Baba says, I, the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, I am just a point of light, but I have enough power in me to transform the whole world. And Baba says that when you sit in the awareness that this is my Baba and I am the child of this Father, and I'm made in his image, I'm just like him. I'm also a tiny point of light, but I also am the master ocean of peace and virtues and knowledge. And when you sit in that awareness, you invoke in yourself your latent powers. So anyways, I am a soul and I am Baba's child, but with that consciousness, you invoke the powers and virtues that are lying latent within you. So this is the first method through which you invoke virtues. And then the second thing that Baba says is, just stay in the awareness of your deity stage. So so your future stage, who are you going to become? What is Baba making you? And you see that, I remember, there was this one place which was under construction. And whenever, the person saw the under construction place, he felt like, it's all debris and construction material. But whenever the project manager, he showed the final product, the image of the final product, he would get very happy. So he'd say, oh, this would look like this, and he would start, remembering the final shape and feature of the building. Similarly, Baba says that right now you are under process, but keep remembering your final stage. what are you going to become, and what kind of a beautiful flower you're going to become in the deity world. Just think about that. And you see, in the deity world, in Satyug, either soul have a body, either soul play a part. I'm on the stage, but I'm completely free from vices, full of all virtues. And just think about what will be your what will your face be like, what your features will be like, how you would think, how you would see, how you would talk, walk, how you would come into connection with souls. And when you just move your awareness to that future stage, you will invoke divine virtues within you. So this is what Baba tells us, to invoke divine virtues in us. So somebody is asking, how do we increase stock of love, peace and happiness? I'm exactly explaining the same thing. So how do you increase that stock? By staying in the awareness that you are the child of the ocean of love, peace and happiness, and that your future stage is a loveful, peaceful and happy stage. And when you just remember that stage, so have you seen that sometimes you go through old photographs of your childhood, and when you see those photographs, your face changes suddenly, and you start, that innocence on your face that was in childhood comes up, and you start remembering how I was in my childhood. And Baba says, similarly, whenever you start thinking about your future form, which is full of innocence, full of virtues, full of qualities, full of powers, then you also start imbibing those right now. So what is a deity like? A deity is ever cheerful. Yes, Harshit Mukh, very sweet. Will a deity, how will a deity speak? Will the the what do you say, the volume in which a deity will speak, will it be lesser than your volume today or more than that? It will be lesser than that. So when you practice going into the awareness of your future state, you will imbibe sweetness, you will imbibe cheerfulness into your personality. So this is also another method. And third thing Baba says is, pay very good attention to study and yoga, because study and yoga is important, and without sitting in yoga you cannot practice these things, and you cannot even, in order to stay in awareness, you have to have the foundation of yoga. So how will you stay in the awareness that you're Shiv Baba's child and that your future form is a deity all day? When you sit in yoga and practice these things. And Baba says, pay a lot of attention to study, because this study, in this Murli every day, Baba is constantly revising for us our past, present and future, which we had forgotten. So until and unless we study the Murli every day, this awareness will be very difficult to hold, because nobody in the world is going to come and tell you you were a deity or you are the child of the ocean of virtues, right? So you have to take it from the Murli. These powerful thoughts, this powerful awareness is what is given by Baba through the Murli every day. So one has to pay a lot of attention to study. And today about study, Baba says that many children don't study with discipline. And there is a method to study. And let me tell you one simple rule. If you join late for the Murli or for the class, it is as good as not joining. Because when you join late, you miss the link and you don't catch the flow. So when you join late for the murli or for the class, then what happens is, although you join, it takes another 10 minutes to find the context of what is being said. So when you study, there has to be a discipline for study. And the first two disciplines is regularity and punctuality. When you went to school, in school education, these are two things which are never compromised. Are you allowed to enter the school if you are late? They close the doors. Why? Because if you come late, it's not going to help you. And then punctuality and regularity. If you miss one day's chapter, then it will be very difficult to focus and find a connection the next day. So Baba says here also it's very important to be a student of discipline and not missing a single day class and murli, and being very punctual, joining in the right time. This is the discipline to study. And if you don't follow the discipline, then you don't get the benefit of study. Then you see, when we study in the school, then we are young, we are children, we are not grihasthis at that time, right? So our buddhi is not entangled in the grihasth. So have you seen a child? A child has the consciousness that I am a student. A child never thinks that, even if the child goes and shops for bread, or, the child is asked to switch off the stove when the cooker has blown two whistles, even if the child does the household work, you give the child, you do this work, they do it. And, I remember there was this one child, during COVID, that child came. And he told me that I have become an expert in washing dishes. So my mother doesn't wash dishes anymore. She gives me all the dishes to wash. And I wash all the dishes all 3 times. And that child was just 7 years old. And you see, but the child is washing dishes all day. But who is he in his head? He is a student. He doesn't think I am somebody who washes dishes. So he told me, just give me some formula to escape from my mom so that I don't have to wash dishes. So Baba says that every child has this consciousness. A student who studies has to have student consciousness, that my main job is to study. And Baba says, even when we study Baba's study, we have to have this consciousness that I'm a student. And when a student has this consciousness, then in the back of his mind, he'll always keep revising his study. Have you seen that? Always they keep revising what the chapter was. So similarly, this is one discipline to study. And then Baba says that if you study in a disciplined way and you have yoga, then the awareness or then you can very well invoke divine virtues in you. Because every day Baba gives us lesson into our erstwhile deity stage, or Baba gives us the Swaman of who you are, and Baba makes us stabilized in the Swaman that I am the child of the Almighty. Then Baba says that you must have complete distaste for vices. Yes, do you love vices? Even if you say no, you still do. Yes, so you still do. There is this interesting term that we have coined in Kalyug, which I think is the most Kalyugi term, and that is necessary evil. So, people say this is a necessary evil, and no evil is ever necessary. But in Kalyug we have coined, and Ravan has made us coin this term, necessary evil. And people will say that, I know it's not good to cry, but you cry sometimes. I know it's not good to get angry, but then you have to get angry sometimes. I know stress is not good, but then you can't help being stressed. So this is a kind of programming that we have. And Baba says this programming is a reflection of how much do you love what is causing you trouble. How much do you love the vices? So Baba says you must have distaste for the vices. You must not like vices. And when you have this kind of an attitude that yes, anger is bad, but what can we do? Sometimes you have to get angry. Then that's the door you're opening for Maya. And you are not closing that door, that lust is a complete no, anger is a complete no, detachment is a complete yes. You have not done that. So Baba says, at least in your internal world, first you need to have clarity. Yes, and I remember there was this one Mata, and she told me that, sister, when my husband died, there were 200 doctors in that hospital that day, and my husband died. And then when I came back home, so everybody said that, you need a guard in this house, you need somebody, some person to be with you. How will you stay alone in the house? And then I said that my husband could die with 200 doctors on the floor. So how can I say that, I will not get robbed with one guard on the gate? So that day I just let go of every fear. And I felt that whatever has to happen, has to happen. And I cannot stop it. And I have to live my life despite everything. So I closed my door to fear. And from that day onwards, I have never entertained a single thought of fear. So it was so inspiring to listen to that woman. Because, when you really have left a vice, it is a great power. And Baba says that, have you closed your door completely to lust, to anger, to ego, to attachment, to greed? And Baba says that is what you need to do in order to invoke divine virtues. And you have to talk to yourself and make yourself realize how much damage these vices have done to you. Yes, and Baba today particularly talks about anger. Baba says, so anger never remains hidden. Anger will always reveal itself. So if you have anger within you and you have not finished that anger, if you have not closed that door to that anger, then anger will find a reason outside, and anger will say, I'm right in this case, and anger will come up. Have you seen that? Yes. So in the worst place where it should never be revealed, it gets revealed. And anger is a vice that cannot remain hidden. So Baba says that when you have that anger, what happens is, once you speak or behave angrily, and the person before whom you do that cannot forget that scene for 6 months. And just think about what are you receiving from that person for 6 months continuously. So whenever we are in a scene, we are videotaping it subtly and then playing it over and over again. So they see that scene once, but they keep playing it on their mind for at least the next 6 months. And whenever they play it on their mind, what do you receive from them? You are as such an angry person, so there is no canopy that you are under. So you are all vulnerable and exposed, and you are vulnerable to those vibrations also, because an angry soul is not guarded. So then you're receiving all those vibrations for the next 6 months. And just think about how much damage that's going to do to your spiritual health. So Baba says, just think about these things. Just think about how lust has made you suffer from the beginning through the middle to the end. And just have distaste, internal distaste with these things. Yes, so have you understood that knowledge can make you have distaste for something? So you read too many articles about, so there was somebody who was telling me that I have a favorite fruit. And then that person said that now I read too many articles about that fruit having the most, content of pesticides. So I read so many articles about that particular fruit having a good, very high content of pesticides. And ever since I read those, I hate that fruit. I don't ever feel like having that fruit. So, when you churn on a piece of information, it can make you have distaste. But the thing is, you have to continuously keep talking to yourself and creating that distaste within for vices. So just keep telling yourself how much anger has made you suffer, how much lust has made you suffer, how much attachment makes you suffer. And just think about from your personal experience also. Just try to figure out the instances and the episodes where you have suffered so much because of attachment. And then you will build detachment for yourself. So Baba says that have distaste for the vices. And Baba says that whenever a vice attacks you, then you must know that I am a thorn right now and not a flower. And this is a very visual and very effective method. So Mama used to do this. And what Mama used to do is, when there were little children in the yagya, so Mama would say that whenever you speak a dirty word, then you must visualize and you must experience that a bucket of garbage fell on your head. And then the children, they were discouraged from speaking dirty words because they understood that I just became dirty right now. So it's not what I spoke, but that fell on me. So similarly, Baba gives a very good methodology that whenever you act under the influence of a vice, you must know that right now I have become a thorn. And do you like the image of you being like a thorn? Or do you like the image of you being a flower? So Baba says, just have that mental association that now I've become like this thorn. And whenever you are in your virtuous self and your virtuous personality, you're like a flower. So this is the way to imbibe divine virtues, and our whole journey is from shifting from devilish traits to divine virtues. So Baba has given so many points. Let us imbibe them and become virtuous. Okay, Om Shanti.